so much? Why do you freaks do this? Why do you insist on butchering author intent? A simple can't even be done? Can you not act? Can you not pretend for 30 fucking seconds? You aren't the center of the goddamn universe. That you are merely a cog in a wheel, not a creative inspiration to the rest of the world. The author wanted Why is it so hard to respect? Are you so selfish? So pathetic? So afraid of other cultures and sounds and customs and speech patterns? Actor, it's in your fucking job title. Act! Pretend! Holy fuck! It isn't fucking hard to do it. There's some nuclear drama happening right now in the gacha space for Wuthering Waves, and you don't have to play the game to understand this drama. It comes off of this clip. Let's play this clip. And there's a lot of interesting things happening with people like Chibi that seems to be LARPing about the situation. So, first of all, let's just hear the sound bits, all right? You have the Chinese, Korean, English, and Japanese voice acting here for this character in this new character that came out. Let's hear about it. Louder. 1 second. Louder.
Whoopsies.
Whoopsies. Okay, before we get any further in, I do want to bring up this one too. There's a lot of different ones that I brought up that's going to be pretty interesting from all sides of the spectrum of people that's very angry and people that is like, you know, positive for. Where's the one from Brandon? Where's the one from Brandon? Hold up. Because there's another one that I saw and it was another example, this one. So Brandon Dogs, right? The guy who officially told people that he's not friends with Chibi. Saw someone saying that nobody says in English, so it sounds unnatural, but like surely you can come up with something that sounds familiar. Here, there's no reason she needs to say yoo-hoo instead of tada. Both are just class common. You're just changing the things for no reason at this point. So here's another one, right? Another example where English voice actors seems to just take a different stance when everyone else is doing the same shit. So again, Chinese, Japanese, Korean, and English for Furina. This is Genshin Impact.
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
짜잔!
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 Yoo-hoo!
Why though? Why though? So now you have two instances, right? Where you have two instances of like, okay, English voice actor seems to be a little bit special. Every other language is doing the same sort of just sound effects. These aren't real words, right? It's ta-da, ta-da, right? English voice actors definitely feel special, I think, right? I don't think this is a crazy take. I think that they definitely want to add in their own little spice to it, you know? Land of individuality, North America, international English audience, maybe that kind of culture compared to more East Asia, right? Maybe there's a difference there. And there's a lot of discourse happening between this. Now, I will say, this is a crazy response off of turning into yoo-hoo. Who talks like this? This isn't even like, who are you? Like, allergic to the sun and garlic. This is a vampire. This is a writer. This is a YouTuber. Madame Savvy. And what a crazy, insane reaction to have of this. She's also a VTuber. I'm glad. Someone is willing to defend yanking a dog's tail in this. I'm glad that she is, you know, on Hassan did shock the dog stuff, but what a crazy thing. And the more I think about it, I think this is definitely an over exaggeration, but off of this kind of, it's the last straw that broke in the back, right? It's the stereotype of English localizers having their own uniqueness, wanting to always change from the source to add in their own agenda. We've seen this in anime, right? Regarding the localizers, the translators, and all this stuff. And now it's happening in the form of this gacha game known as Wuthering Waves, which is a Chinese game, by the way. And this is where it gets pretty interesting. Chibi comes in and he says, you can't take localizers enough. The Japanese community is now even starting to talk about this. Seems like speaking about these problems might actually lead to solutions as Japan finds about this. Let's play the background music. All right. So Chibi is quite well known for what? Always kind of going for, I guess, anti-censorship, right? Anytime people trying to censor lollies and, you know, more fan service stuff and anime Japanese stuff, he's always covering that. And I think he's jumping into the Wuthering Waves community stuff and kind of saying that the Japanese community is now even starting to talk about it, which is funny because a lot of people are now kind of saying shit like this. Right-wing anime grifter, we got Asarata coming in. The Japanese community has started taking notice and they are furious. They will not stand for this injustice. The Japanese community. It's so performative, it's just corny at this point. I mean, I guess they were all like this though. It's all grift all the way down. Chibi hard pivoted to the anti-censorship content while supporting an administration that actively censors people. Again, the whole American politics shit. Do you think Chibi jumped the gun? What do you guys think is the likelihood that Chibi just kind of saw this as another opportunity to kind of really stir up the shit pot and get this, you know, like, hey, let's fucking talk about how the Westerners are ruining everything and positioning with the Japanese community, but like, this is a Chinese game, right? And are the Japanese people even upset? I don't know if I think Chibi might have kind of jumped the gun. Because like the reason I'm bringing this up is like he always speaks on behalf of the Japanese community and stuff like that. And it's kind of, I think one could definitely make the mistake looking at a gacha game, which are, a lot of them are Japanese, and kind of jumping to that conclusion. And a lot of people are very, you know, saying that like, dude, this guy's fucking LARPing. This guy's doing that. Let's see some of the quotes. I have some of the likes here too. Wuo is Chinese. Yeah, this is what a lot of people are saying, right? LARP! Japanese community is laughing about how retarded all of you are. Suten, Ruto. Wuthering Waves, Alto going ehe in that scene is it's played straight up Japanese style in Japanese, Chinese, and Korean versions, but the English one's totally different. And Americans are absolutely losing their shit over it. But the way that they're raging over it so over the top, that's cracked me up. Yeah, they're laughing. They're definitely laughing at this shit. 5-hour long quest, which makes no fucking sense in English, replaced by something that makes sense in English. People crash out. Y'all need a job. Yeah, there's a lot of people like so there's a couple of different things, right? First of all, is changing into oopsies that big of a deal? In my opinion, not really. If you're gonna make the argument that this is gonna set a precedence of like, oh, you know, they're gonna see that if you just fold over this, who knows what they're gonna change in the future. If I really take a step back, I'd realize that I don't even play this game with the fucking voice acting or soundtrack on. I probably have like a stream or a different podcast or a YouTube video on the side while just grinding the game. Skipping all the dialogue because I'm a fucking degenerate. But for the people that's super into the story, I could definitely understand why they are upset by it, but also why people are saying, bro, this is really not a fucking big deal at all. Shoutouts to Crix. Thank you for the raid. We are currently looking at some bullshit gacha drama regarding Wuthering Waves and is Chibi Reviews LARPing. Go check out Crix if you guys want some Donghua reactions. Hope you had a great stream, man. Have a good rest of your day. The that broke the camel's back. Ha ha ha. What? It's like I love how like the contrast of how she is raging with the power of 10,000 suns with all caps lock over a head being changed and saying, oopsies, isn't this kind of silly? Let's see some of the other stuff too. The Japanese community is now even talking about this, yet I've only yet to hear any Japanese person complain about this non-issue. Only Western LARPers who don't have any real problems in their life. I have honestly been seeing more of this pattern where Chibi will make a mountain of a molehill. And it's a very common thing that happens in politicians actually, right? So basically you try to like find one thing, such an insignificant thing, and then you reach, you exaggerate, you radicalize, and try to paint this agenda that, oh my god, they're coming for us, man. It's fucking over, right? even though that might not be the real case. And a lot of people that don't do their due diligence, right, will just kind of take that for face value and say, oh my God, maybe it's actually happening. And that's how kind of like misinformation, propaganda, and the whole like, oh, he's grifting, he's LARPing comes from. Chibi definitely gets ahead of himself sometimes, and maybe this could be an example of that. The grifter arrives, adds... The grifter arrives to add his 2 cents, not realizing Wuwa is a Chinese game. I mean, it's not. It's kind of silly that he doesn't seem to really acknowledge that. But, you know, maybe he was specifically looking at the Japanese community because he's more familiar with them. A bunch of people don't play Wuwa and don't even know it's Chinese game that's upset about this, it seems. He's a grifter because checks notes. He doesn't like how localizers translate to language. You people are really stretching that straw man. No, I think that you guys are being disingenuous with this when Chibi, I think, is kind of getting caught with his pants down. If he deleted that tweet, I think it would look bad on him. So I think his best strategy right now is to act a fool and say, oh, yeah, I always knew that it was a Chinese game, but I'm always covering anime content. Therefore, I'm focusing on the Japanese audience's reaction, not the Chinese audience, right? I think that's the angle that he's going to go with that shit. He's a grifter because he's speaking on communities on media he doesn't watch, read, or play. I think that even if you don't play the game, you can still have opinions about it. But clearly, when you're not doing your research and you kind of get put into this position, again, especially for a character like Chibi, what have I said always, right? When you have such a controversy and baggage, that it's like a miasma, right? Imagine like ReZero. It's Subaru doing Return by Death and the Witch's Scent getting thicker and thicker. People aren't going to take you for good faith. A lot of people will assume the worst of you, and when you get caught in accidents like this, then it's like, yeah, of course they're going to not believe you, right? You have proof, or you're simply just talking out your ass? The proof is here. It's just a logical conclusion. I think this person is just riding on Chibi's dick, going off of very bad faith arguments, saying that people are reaching, when I think the very obvious conclusion you can come to is, I think Chibi is reaching. We'll see some of the other responses later too, but we'll see what happens actually. What's the truth, right? Nah, he just hates Whoopsie because it's the first thing his fiance said. Arcadia is coming in here saying the replies are so cringe, bro. If an English speaker goes on mid-conversation, I will look at them like they have a mental disability. So I think this kind of puts this right over here, right? So Brandon was kind of talking about, hey, is not like a common thing, but even then, why are you changing it like that, right? Different languages, different culture, different way of expressing itself. I'm Korean, and a Korean person saying mid-conversation, people would say, you're chuny as fuck, what are you doing? So I understand where Arcadia is coming in with this angle. This is definitely from a position of defending the localization. But you also have to realize that this is not real life. This is a mobile game and a fictional character in a fictional land with a separate set of cultures. Yes, the language is English, but the argument and the core logic here being, oh, real English-speaking people don't say that. I think it's a weak argument to kind of go off by. This is a bad argument regardless. It's a video game and a fantastical, dramatical one at that. You aren't supposed to get realistic dialogue, but believable dialogue. Do you think the Japanese go in normal conversation too? Such a weird argument to make. They do, what the fuck? Again, Korean people don't really do that. Japanese, like, do you hear a ara? Here is a very sad and harsh truth. Japanese people don't say or ara. They don't really though. Cause like the shit that you hear in anime land is over exaggerated shit. Do you think the average salaryman, just like average conversations, they go, ara? No, you are fucking otaku weebs that hear this shit and think, oh, Japan must be all like that. That's not how it works. You know what I mean? No. It can't be. No. English dubbed to be cringe. This is definitely the face of a enjoy right there. Couldn't it be at least hee then? Whoopsies also sound far from great, let's be fair. It's so cute. I think that a lot of people, and you can see there's a lot of people that are pro of this mindset, which is, the localizations isn't even bad. You guys are over exaggerating. It's fucking ridiculous. Again, anytime shit like this happens, you're gonna have two tribes, and the most radical from each spectrum are going to be waging in bad faith conversations, and that's why they're kind of arguing over each other. And Brandon kind of countered that point by bringing another one, saying, come on, bruh, right? Like, English voice actors seem to really do have an agenda for doing this shit. This is the another one just kind of anti-Chibi, right? People who never touched Wuthering Waves are now experts criticizing the game's voice acting direction. Even if you don't play the game, I think if you're well researched enough and saw a clip, you could have an opinion about it, right? OP doesn't even play the game that often, maybe not at all. This is the girl, the savvy girl, right? This is what the Japanese community think about it, you weirdos, right? And this is the post that we've seen, right? And if we translate this, they're kind of just like laughing, right? They're just kind of like they're mocking and they think it's funny. My JP bro, the reason why it's because we have seen multiple times these localizers. Yeah, again, right? It's like it's kind of funny though. A bunch of like it's like this. This is how I imagine these people. Not Nicholas Light's hairline. Wait, where is it? This is how I imagine this. Hold up, where is it? Where is it? I had a post made. Fuck, where is it? It was on Nicholas's I'm going to Japan trip. Did he already delete it? Oh, here it is. So this is how I imagine it. Right? These are the people that I imagine when they say, oh, you know, shit like this, saying, oh, chotto mate, Siuten Ruto-san. You know, did you know that these filthy, you know, Westerners are disrespecting your culture? It's like, you're like backseating Japanese people's reaction to this and saying, oh, they're disrespecting your culture. You should, you know, be more upset about this. And it's like, it's kind of embarrassing when it gets to this point, right? And this is what Espiritu has to say. This is one post talking about, you know, here's the thing that you can't grasp. Not everyone needs to announce 24/7 that they play a game like you do. I play many games and watch many anime I never mention in public. Why? Because unlike you, I don't need to make my entire life revolve around one game or show. Just because I'm not that shallow of a person, just because you're retarded doesn't mean the rest of us are. I think Espiritu is simply trying to protect this friend, but doesn't realize that he's kind of contradicting his own hatred for light novel historian. You know what I mean? How many times does Ellen Historian get shit on by people like Espiritu saying you're fucking LARPing? You don't even read this fucking light novels. Just because Ellen Historian doesn't publicly make announcements and videos and updates about the light novels he's reading doesn't mean he's not reading it. Now there could be more, you know, lore. Maybe Ellen Historian truly was caught grifting and he truly didn't read anything, but I would assume that he actually knows what he's talking about. Right? So this idea that like, oh, just because you don't share, again, come on, man. Like, you engage in the same shit too. This is fucking stupid ass tribalism. There's no principled, you know, positions being stood here. You're just defending your friend Chibi, and I get that. I get that. This is a more interesting tweet though. And they're laughing with her, not at her. You would probably grasp this if you play some games with solid translations, but you don't, so you don't understand the tone and context. This is why the comments are cooking your ass. So this is a very interesting one. And at this point, you have to really just kind of this is all assumptions, right? Because this argument being made is basically that like this Japanese person, you know, laughing. When you read this, do you come to this conclusion? Espiritu is basically saying they're laughing with savvy. I think this is what happens when you have team sports happening, right? How many times do I talk about this? So many people get so parasocial with each other and they form tribes and friendships and groups. And once you've done that and you've clearly labeled teams, you can't even confront the truth anymore because your bias towards your teammates will not even make you want to think in a different way. When I read the Japanese person's tweet, it is not laughing with savvy. I think they're mocking us. At least, not pro-savvy, definitely neutral at best, that this is ridiculous and it's funny. There are people literally going in, defending, saying, no, you should be more offended. These people are literally and these people are also part of like this camp. And they're the ones saying, no man, you should be more upset about this. I think that Espiritu is again getting caught up trying to pretend this friend, you know, protect his friends and doing mental gymnastics. And that's why this is a compromised opinion. They're literally mocking anti-woke losers like you. Read more comments and they say localizers get approval by the studio. The English voice actor you hate is the studio approved, you moron. Hassan fan calling me a moron, oh that's rich. Again, this is ad hominem. This is like stupid high school drama where you don't even confront the logic. You can't even argue against it and you say, haha, you follow Hassan, you're stupid. It's weak. It's weak. This is such a weak position. Espiritu, I think this is such a bad take. And again, right? Like, most people genuinely can't, like, objectively try to confront the truth. So many people are delusional and have these friendships. You need to be more like me. You need to be more like me for in classroom with the elite. Everyone is a tool. I am Ayana Koji. And because of that, I can see the objective truth. I can acknowledge that the people that you guys hate, sometimes they're right. And the people that you guys love, maybe sometimes they're wrong. You don't even try to approach the objective truth. None of this shit even makes sense to me. In my opinion, they are laughing at her. At best, neutral. To say that they're laughing with her is fucking ridiculous amount of cope. There's some other stuff going on here saying, what the fuck is wrong with these people? Just because a little difference in translation warrants a death threat, it's crazy. Oh yeah, people get very, very insane. And why is that? Because of people like Chibi. It's that simple. Now, I won't blame it all on Chibi. Because you can't ever hold responsible, right? Chibi's ideology definitely creates these radicals. But a lot of people are well-mannered. You're going to have schizos. And these schizos would have crashed out no matter what, right? So again, they're just already radicalized and they're kind of using Chibi as like a harbinger of these talking points and saying shit like, you know, you should... Jesus, right? I don't even have to read this. This is fucking crazy. All because of an eh. But then they won't say it's not just eh. They'll say that this is a culture war. A bigger, you know, war happening with censorship and we need to be more strong about this. If we're honestly at this point, like, what are we fucking doing, bro? This is a very funny profile here, actually. Yeah, that's fine. But like, you still do this shit. Oh, sorry. My bad. I'm getting it twisted. I'm getting it twisted. KG is mocking Mara TXI. Can we find this person? I apologize, KG. That was not my intention. Here we go again. Attacking voice actors, but this time outside of Hoyo Twitter. Genshin Impact and I think Hoyoverse definitely does a lot of shit like that, right? Where, dude, straight up, like Genshin voice actors, English dub voice actors, like Paimon. Man, many people fucking hate Paimon's voice actor and they took it so far, it gets fucking crazy. That's why, like, and you start interacting with a bunch of like young audiences, nothing good will happen. Just stay fucking out, right? Just stay fucking out. What is this? The ehe versus oopsies. Drama is the most subhuman behavior I've seen in my life. Like these, how genuinely how you're just mad over a simple change that literally changes nothing. And it's a Yuri Yaoi worshiper who hates whatever. We're getting beyond that. Anyways, that's the state of affairs right now. What do you guys think? Is it that big of a deal? Is it that big of a deal? I think that it's not. I think it's silly. I think this is a nothing burger. To say that a change of ehe is more like premonition that like the woke, blue-haired, radicalized, trans activist, social justice warriors will now ruin your Chinese games. It's crazy. I think this is what happens when you have people that are so convinced that they're on the right side of history that they will always go out and preach about these acts. But what this does is create radical schizos that will go and start harassing voice actors. And again, anti-censorship is a good core principle, but the way that Chibi presents himself and engages, I think gets him in a lot of trouble to the point where, you know, Asaratha, I think he's fucking cooking, man.